In the struggle against anxiety, there is a hidden power waiting to be unleashed. What if your fears were not your enemies, but the very forces that could forge you into something greater? In this journey, we'll transform your most troubling thoughts into the fuel for your greatest triumphs. Embrace the chaos, master the mind, and discover the path to becoming stronger than ever before. This is not just a battle against anxiety, it is a path to your highest self. So let's begin. Deep within you resides an ancient adversary, one that thrives on the frailty of your spirit and the chaos of your unguarded thoughts. It is a specter you cannot flee, for it does not dwell in the shadows of the world, but in the labyrinth of your own mind. These anxious whispers, these relentless murmurs of despair, they are not mere thoughts. They are the echoes of a war waged within, a war that seeks to shatter the foundation of your being. But do not mistake this struggle for misfortune. No, it is a summons, a call to arms. For only by standing before this tempest, by gazing into its swirling abyss, can you unveil the raw and unflinching truth of who you are. The timid soul collapses beneath the weight of its own doubts. But you, dear seeker, are not destined for such a fate. The path to yourself is forged not by retreat, but by confrontation, by the fearless unraveling of the illusions that bind you. Your adversary feasts on hesitation, but it recoils from clarity, from the piercing light of self-awareness. To tread this path is to accept the pain of transformation, to bear the scars of growth as badges of triumph. Will you dare to rise and meet the storm within? The art of inner combat. Within the Colosseum of your mind, a battle rages, a spectacle unseen by the eyes of the world, yet more ferocious than any war fought on blood-soaked soil. Your anxious thoughts, clad in the armor of doubt and wielding the sharp swords of fear, are the gladiators in this unending conflict. They clash, they taunt, they tear at the fabric of your resolve, each one vying for dominance over the fragile peace you seek to protect. But these warriors are not invincible. They are not omnipotent. Their strength lies not in their power, but in your refusal to confront them. For too long, you have let them roam nameless and unchecked, feeding on the silence of your denial. It is time to step into the arena, to face these foes, not as a helpless spectator, but as a sovereign over your own psyche. Name them. Draw the veil from their shadowy forms. See them for what they are. Not monstrous truths, but distorted echoes of your own making. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown. These are not titans, they are specters, born of your imagination and sustained by your acquiescence. To name them is to strip them of their mystique, to expose their frailty beneath the mask of terror, and then know your greatest adversary, not the loudest voice, nor the fiercest blow, but the insidious one, the whisper of self-doubt that erodes your will from within. It is this foe you must meet with unyielding resolve. Stand firm in the center of your mental arena and proclaim your sovereignty. You are but a thought, and I am the thinker. You shall not rule me. Victory in this battle is not the absence of struggle, but the mastery of it. Each confrontation, each naming, each act of defiance strengthens your spirit, forging you into a warrior who commands the battlefield of the mind. The gladiators may never leave, but they will learn to kneel before the one who has claimed dominion. The will to freedom. Anxiety is a thief, a cunning specter that preys not upon your body, but upon your most precious possession, time. It does not strike with violence, but with subtlety, weaving itself into the hours, the minutes, the very breath of your existence. It grows fat on your hesitation, nourished by every moment you surrender to its endless cycle of what-ifs and maybes. It binds you, not with chains of steel, but with a net of invisible threads. Threads that tighten with every passing second you do not reclaim. But time, like freedom, is not freely given. It must be seized. If anxiety seeks to feast on the banquet of your days, then you must starve it. Do not banish it outright. Such efforts are futile, for the mind rebels against such forceful denial. Instead, tame it. Set the boundaries of its dominion, and let it know that your life is not an open field for its rampage, but a fortress where it may tread only when summoned. Give it 10 minutes, just 10. A throne for a fleeting moment, a stage upon which it may perform its dirge of fears and doubts. Within those 10 minutes, let it scream, let it rage, let it throw its tantrums. Acknowledge its presence, but do not bow to it. Watch it as one observes the flickering flames of a fire, a force that can consume, but only if left unchecked. And when those 10 minutes pass, rise. Close the gates. Dismiss the spectre with the authority of a master dismissing a servant. Tell it, your time is up and mine has only just begun. This act, though simple, is profound. It is the declaration of your will, the reclaiming of your sovereignty over the hours that anxiety would otherwise devour. In these stolen moments of freedom, you will find clarity. For the thief that was once anxiety will become the sentinel that reminds you of your power, the power to choose how you spend the fleeting currency of time. And in this choice lies the first taste of true liberty, a freedom not granted by the world, but forged by your own indomitable will. Breath as a weapon. In the eternal theater of existence, where chaos and order wage their ceaseless war, there lies a power so primal, so fundamental, that it is often forgotten. Breath. Breath is not merely life, it is the rhythm of being, the thread that binds the body to the spirit, the tangible to the intangible. Yet in your moments of deepest turmoil, how often do you abandon this sacred force? Anxiety, like a thief in the night, robs you of your breath, leaving you gasping not for air, but for the calm that seems ever out of reach. But what if this simple act, this inhale and exhale, could become your shield and your sword? What if, in the storm of your most restless thoughts, you could anchor yourself with nothing more than the steady rise and fall of your chest? Anxiety is a fire, wild and consuming, and breath is the water that douses its flames. To wield this weapon is an art, not a reflex. Close your eyes and draw in the world through your nostrils, as if summoning the essence of life itself. Hold it, not out of fear, but in reverence, as a warrior steadies their blade before the strike. Then release it slowly, deliberately, expelling the weight of your fears with each exhale. In this act, there is no room for panic. The breath commands your focus, drawing you back to the present, where the tyranny of what if cannot reach. Through this practice, you reclaim the rhythm of your existence. The mind may rebel, as it often does, but the body knows its truth, that to breathe is to live, and to live is to overcome. With each deliberate breath, you remind yourself that you are not at the mercy of your thoughts. You are the master of the air, the orchestrator of your own calm. In the quiet discipline of breath lies a revelation that the tempest within you is not eternal. It can be silenced, one inhale, one exhale at a time. Let your breath be your rebellion against chaos, your declaration of mastery over the storm. For in the breath, you find not just survival, but sovereignty, the power of physical action. Anxiety is a creature of stillness. It thrives in stagnation, feeding on the inertia of the body and the chaos of the mind. It binds you not with visible chains, but with the weight of immobility, anchoring you in a prison of your own making. It whispers lies into your ear, that you are helpless, that the world is too vast, too chaotic, too overwhelming to face. But these whispers hold no truth, for you are not a being of stillness. You are motion incarnate, a force meant to rise, to stride, to conquer. The body is your weapon, your refuge, your answer to the storm within. When the mind quakes under the weight of its own turbulence, let the body take the lead. Step outside, feel the earth beneath your feet, and let movement become your rebellion. A simple walk, a run, a dance. These are not mere acts. They are declarations of defiance, a reminder to the anxiety that it cannot tether you. With every step, you shatter the illusions anxiety weaves. The rhythm of your footsteps, the beating of your heart, the sweat upon your skin, these are the sounds of chains breaking, of freedom reclaiming its place. The world becomes smaller, more tangible. As your body asserts its dominion over the space it inhabits, you are no longer a prisoner of your thoughts. You are a master of your realm, carving paths where there were none. There is a primal wisdom in the physical. The body does not dwell in the past, nor fear the future. It exists in the eternal now. And when you move, you pull your restless mind into this moment, grounding it in the undeniable truth of your presence. You are here, you are alive, you are unstoppable. Through motion, you reclaim your power. Anxiety may howl at your heels, but it cannot follow where the body leads. In movement, you find not only release but triumph, a reminder that you are not a victim of your thoughts, but a warrior, conquering them stride by stride, the wisdom of letting go. Not every thought that arises within you is worthy of your throne. The mind, that restless creator of narratives, churns forth a torrent of ideas, fears and doubts, each clamoring for your attention, each demanding to be crowned as truth. Yet how often do you pause to ask, does this thought serve me? Does it uplift, empower or guide me? Or does it merely weigh me down, a stone tied to the wings of my potential? To master the art of letting go is to wield the scalpel of discernment against the chaos of your inner world. It is to recognize that not all that passes through your mind is sacred. Some thoughts are but echoes of fears long past. Others are imposters, masquerading as wisdom while sowing only confusion. And then there are those that exist solely to entangle you, to hold you captive in their endless loops. To let them rule is to chain yourself to illusions, to forfeit your freedom. For the comfort of familiarity, letting go is not an act of weakness, but of profound strength. It's not the avoidance of responsibility, but the refusal to bear what is not yours to carry. In releasing the thoughts that do not serve you, you are not turning away from truth. You are carving a path toward it, clearing the debris that obscures your vision. Picture each unworthy thought as a leaf drifting downstream. It does not need your intervention to float away. It requires only your permission. To hold on to it, to clutch it tightly, is to fight against the current of life itself. But to release it, to watch it slip away without resistance, is to align yourself with the natural flow of existence, to move freely, unburdened toward what truly matters. This is the wisdom of renunciation, to understand that freedom is not found in the collection of thoughts, but in their careful curation. To let go is to reclaim your power, to remind yourself that you are not the servant of your mind, but its master. And in this mastery lies the foundation of a life unshackled, unbound, a life wholly, gloriously your own. Light through chaos. Amid the tempest of your thoughts, where chaos reigns and clarity is but a fleeting shadow, there exists a quiet yet profound act of defiance: to write. To take pen to paper is not a simple task. It is a rebellion against disorder, a bold declaration that you will no longer be a prisoner to the storm within. A journal is not merely a collection of words, it is a sanctuary, a lighthouse illuminating the dark seas of your mind. When you write, you force the intangible into form. Those restless fears, those shapeless anxieties that gnaw at the edges of your peace, cannot survive the harsh light of articulation. To name them is to strip them of their power, To record them is to pin them down like butterflies in a glass case, no longer fluttering wildly, but still exposed and knowable. But a journal is not just a mirror reflecting your fears. It is a lens sharpening your perception. As you spill your worries onto the page, patterns emerge. Hidden truths, buried beneath layers of noise, rise to the surface. Perhaps your dread is not infinite but specific, tied to a single moment or decision. Perhaps your anxieties are echoes of old wounds, crying out for the healing touch of acknowledgement. Through writing, you transform chaos into clarity, confusion into insight. And in this act of creation lies control. For to write is to reclaim your narrative, to wrest the pen from the grip of anxiety and declare yourself the author of your story. Each word, each sentence, each page is a step toward mastery. Over the mind that once ruled you, the journal becomes your map, charting the labyrinth of your thoughts and guiding you toward the light that has always been there, hidden beneath the fog. Do not underestimate the power of this simple act. A journal is not just a tool, it is a weapon, a beacon, a testament to your will to confront the chaos and emerge not unscathed, but stronger. In its pages, you will find not only your fears, but also your strength, your wisdom, your truth. And with each entry, you will discover that the storm within you is not endless. It is navigable, and its light is yours to claim. Laugh at the darkness. There is no power more subversive, more irreverent, or more liberating than laughter. It is the great equalizer, the sword that cuts through pretense and fear alike. Anxiety, with all its grim seriousness, its self-proclaimed importance, despises laughter. It thrives on your solemnity, on your willingness to take every shadow it casts as a harbinger of doom. But when you laugh, oh, when you laugh, you strip anxiety of its masquerade, reducing its towering form to something small, absurd, and entirely unworthy of reverence. Picture your fears as they truly are, bumbling clowns dressed in the robes of kings, stumbling over their own exaggerated grandeur. Visualize your darkest thoughts as actors in a melodramatic farce, their lines poorly delivered, their menace undone by their own absurdity. Anxiety thrives on the seriousness you grant it. Take that away, and it collapses under the weight of its own ridiculousness. Laughter is not denial, it is defiance. It is the refusal to bow before the tyranny of fear. When you smile at your anxieties, when you laugh at their exaggerated threats, you reclaim the upper hand. You show them that you are not their puppet, dancing to their every whispered doom. You are the audience, and they are the jesters, performing for your amusement. This act of humor is not mere escapism, it is transformation. In mocking your fears, you rob them of their sting. Their sharp edges become dull, their grip on your mind loosens, and in their place, you find perspective, a clarity born of not taking them so seriously. The darkness loses its power when you illuminate it with the light of laughter. So laugh. Laugh loudly, boldly, and with abandon. Laugh at the absurdity of your worries, at the melodrama of your fears. Laugh until the walls of your inner prison shake, until the shadows retreat, humiliated by your refusal to cower. For in that laughter lies your greatest act of rebellion, a declaration that you are not afraid, that you see through the illusions of anxiety, and that you will not be ruled by what you can so easily mock. Turn pain into art. In the crucible of suffering, something extraordinary can be forged. For too long, you have believed that pain must be endured, hidden away, or eradicated. But what if pain itself is not your enemy, but your raw material? What if the very anguish that gnaws at your soul could be transformed into the masterpiece of your existence? When anxiety strikes, when the dark clouds gather and the mind spins in restless torment, know this: you are not a passive victim. You are an artist, and the canvas of your life is waiting to be painted with the intensity of your emotions. Every restless thought, every sharp pang of fear, every moment of crushing doubt is not a weakness, but a brushstroke, a note, a chisel strike in the making of your masterpiece. Pain does not diminish you, it shapes you. And through art, you transform. That which seeks to break you into something immortal. Take up the brush, the pen, the instrument. Let the tremors of your soul guide your hand. Write the words that ripple with the fury of your inner storm. Paint the images that flow from the depths of your unease. Sculpt the forms that express the anguish and the beauty of your humanity. This is the alchemy of the artist, to turn the lead of pain into the gold of creation. Anxiety, fear, and sorrow are not burdens to bear, but forces to channel. When you give them expression, when you grant them form, you take command of them. They no longer control you, you control them. Each stroke becomes an assertion of your will, each word an affirmation of your sovereignty over the chaos within. And in this act, you find freedom. For the pain that once seemed so oppressive now serves you. It becomes the fuel that powers your creativity, the spark that ignites the fire of your expression. You are not a mere survivor of your fears. You are their master, the one who molds them into something greater than their original form. So when anxiety comes knocking, welcome it, not as an invader, but as a collaborator. Take the raw materials of your suffering and craft from them something beautiful, something true. In this transformation, you will discover not only the power of creation, but the profound power of your own spirit. A spirit that can bend even the darkest of emotions to its will and shape them into a work of art. Clearing the space. The world around you is not a mere backdrop. It is a reflection of the world within. The chaos that clutters your environment mirrors the disarray in your mind. When you allow the external to become fractured, cluttered, and untamed, you invite the same chaos into your very soul. Every disorganized corner, every forgotten pile, every neglected item is a symbol of disorder, each whispering to your subconscious that you are not in control. And what is this but a subtle invitation to anxiety to take root, to flourish? But imagine, just for a moment, standing in the center of a space that is utterly clear, utterly deliberate. The air feels lighter. The room breathes with you. There is nothing extraneous to distract you, nothing competing for your attention. Every object has its place. Every surface is untouched by the weight of neglect. In this space, there is no room for confusion, no place for the endless spinning of thoughts. You have created an environment where only clarity can thrive. When you clear your space, you are not merely removing physical objects, you are making a declaration to yourself. You are saying that you deserve peace. You are choosing order over chaos, focus over distraction, calm over turmoil. The act of clearing is a ritual, a purification of both body and mind. Each item you discard, each surface you wipe clean, is a small victory, a conquest of the disorder that once ruled you. There is power in this simplicity. The more you clear your surroundings, the more you clear your thoughts. The mind, once burdened by the weight of external distractions, becomes capable of the deep, focused reflection that anxiety seeks to prevent. In the absence of clutter, both physical and mental, you become free. And this freedom is not just the absence of chaos, it is the presence of possibility. So, take control of your space. Transform it from a battleground into a sanctuary. As you organize your environment, you organize your mind. In this harmony of the external and internal, you will find the strength to face whatever challenges lie before you, for you will be centered, unshaken, and ready to embrace the next step in your journey. Faith in your own power. You have already faced the abyss and emerged victorious. Do you remember that moment, that unshakable force within you that rose when all seemed lost? Perhaps it was a time when the weight of anxiety seemed too much to bear, when every thought felt like a nail driven into your mind. And yet, despite the darkness, you found a way through. You did not collapse. You did not surrender. You stood tall in defiance of the storm and you conquered. This victory was not a fleeting accident or a moment of grace. It was proof. It was evidence that you hold within you a power far greater than the fear that seeks to dominate you. Do not allow your mind to diminish this victory, to convince you that it was a moment of luck. No, it was the manifestation of your will, your ability to rise, to fight, and to endure. You have done it before, and you will do it again. Each time. You have overcome anxiety. You have added another stone to the foundation of your strength. These victories, however small they may seem in the moment, are the building blocks of your power. They prove to you without a shadow of a doubt that you are not at the mercy of your fears. You are not helpless. You are a force capable of weathering any storm and emerging not unscathed, but stronger, sharper, more resolute. Remember this: the fears that come to you now are not new. They are the same fears that you have faced before, the same shadows that have tried to enslave you in the past. But you are no longer the person who cowered before them. You are the person who stood in the face of fear and laughed. You are the one who rose from the depths and walked forward with the knowledge that you are not your anxiety. You are the one who transcends it. So, when the next wave of worry threatens to crash over you, remember your strength. Remember the battles you have already fought and won. Recall the times when you thought you could not go on, and yet here you are, alive, whole, and unbroken. In those moments when doubt creeps in and fear whispers its lies, remind yourself, you are stronger than this. You have conquered this before, and you will conquer it again. Destruction through creation. There is a force, raw and primal, that lies at the heart of creation, an energy that flows through the hands, that manifests in the physical act of building, of shaping the world around you. To create is to rebel against the forces that seek to disempower you, to turn the chaos inside your mind into something tangible, something real. When you build, when you construct with your own hands, you are no longer just a passive observer of your own anxiety. You become an architect of your fate. The world of thought, of worry, of fear is one of endless circles, an eternal loop of ruminations that feed upon themselves. Your mind spins, tangled in the threads of what-ifs, should, haves and maybes. But in the act of creation, you interrupt this cycle. Every nail driven into wood, every stone placed upon stone, every brushstroke on the canvas is a disruption, a force of will that shatters the oppressive grip of anxiety. You are no longer trapped in your mind's labyrinth. You are creating your own path, a path that leads outward into the world, into something that will endure long after the moment of worry has passed. Creation is not merely a distraction. It is a weapon. It is a declaration that you will not be consumed by the things you cannot control. You will not be bound by the invisible chains of anxiety. Instead, you will build. With every movement of your body, you assert your sovereignty over the forces that would seek to break you. The act of creation becomes a sacred ritual, a defiance of the destructive forces within and without. And in this act, you discover a new power. It is not the power of thought alone, nor the power of emotion. It is the power of the body, of the hands that shape, the heart that beats in time with every effort. In building, you move from passive suffering to active transcendence. You move from destruction to creation. And in doing so, you destroy the very forces that sought to destroy you. So I urge you to build. Build with your hands, your mind, your heart. Create something that will outlast the fleeting moments of fear. Something that will stand as a testament to your strength, your will, your defiance. For through creation, you will discover not just a way to escape anxiety, but a way to transcend it entirely. And in that transcendence, you will find the freedom you seek, the freedom to shape your world, your mind, your destiny. In the labyrinth of anxiety, there is a hidden truth, a revelation for those daring enough to seek it. Your greatest adversary, the relentless tide of your worries, is not a force to escape, but a crucible in which your spirit is forged. These thoughts, these fears that seek to bind you in a prison of your own mind, are not your enemy. They are your teachers. They are the fires that will burn away your weaknesses and leave you standing, stronger, sharper, and more resolute than ever before. You are not a victim of your anxiety. You are a student in the grandest of schools, a school where the lessons are harsh, but the rewards are profound. Every anxiety, every moment of discomfort is an opportunity for growth. It is a test of your strength, your resilience, your will to transcend. And as you learn to navigate this world of internal chaos, you become something greater than what you were before. You become the Overman, the one who does not bow to fear, but bends it to his will, the one who does not shrink from the storm, but walks boldly through it, knowing that on the other side lies a power greater than anything he could have imagined. The path to this power is not an easy one. It is a path of struggle, of pain, of sacrifice, but it is also a path of creation, of self-discovery, of transformation. Every moment of anxiety you overcome is a step toward your own greatness. Every instance where you choose not to cower, but to rise, strengthens the foundation of your being. And in this process, you will discover that you are not simply surviving your anxiety, you are mastering it. You are using it as a tool, as a stepping stone to become more than you ever thought possible. The world may try to break you. Your fears may try to crush you, but you will not be broken. You will rise again and again, each time stronger, each time more certain of your power. You are not just a man or a woman. You are becoming something greater, something beyond the limitations of your past self. You are becoming the Overman, the one who stands above the chaos, the one who has learned to shape his own destiny. So, rise. Do not shy away from the challenges that lie ahead. Embrace them, master them, and in doing so, you will become the master of yourself, the master of your fears, your anxieties, your world. For in the end, it is not the world that shapes you, but you who shapes the world. And as you step into this new existence, you will find that the strength to overcome anything, to create anything, lies not in the world outside, but in the power within you.